Hey, it's Mariah.
And I'm Katie, and we
Woke Up Feral.
On this podcast, we have our shit together.
Until we don't, so come get feral with us.
Let's tear into it.
Okay. All right, Katie, what are we talking about today?
Okay, do you have a feeling that people are going to want to talk about?
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. The dogs.
The dogs. Let's
The
get
dogs.
to the rescue.
The rescue.
Which is a huge part of our lives.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
basically my life.
Yeah,
It's like
it is.
my whole life.
Yeah, and the show, I think people are going to want to hear how it was. You know, there's no pitbulls and parolees anymore, so kind of what you're doing now. And then I'll
Yeah.
chime in as well because I do work for the rescue, and
Yeah.
I think there'll be things that we can talk about.
You're a huge part of it now.
Yeah.
That's actually, and the rescue's what brought Kanani and I together.
I love that. Yeah.
Mhm.
So these are going to be things that I think people... I'm sure in the past you have talked about here or there,
Certain
or
things,
maybe
yeah.
you've been interviewed perhaps,
Mhm.
but maybe
Yeah,
not
we
in
did
this...
a lot of interviews on different episodes, and it would touch on personal things. But this is going to be like more
first
personal. So
all-inclusive.
some questions that maybe you always wondered, either about the show, about the rescue, or myself, or whatever. You may
Let's
get your
the
answers now.
nitty-gritty.
Let's
Yeah,
get real and
yeah.
personal.
Okay.
Oh,
So I have permission to
oh.
ask whatever I want.
If I don't want to answer, I'll tell you.
Oh, okay.
But I think I'm pretty open book.
We can just cut. We'll
I'm
just
not
add-
gonna say
edit
my
it out.
address, but that's
Where do you live?
weird. Assumption Parish.
Okay. All right. Well,
Shoot.
let's see. Let's just dive straight into maybe pitbulls and parolees first because that kind of gets us all the way back.
Well, okay.
or-
Should we maybe dive in on how I even got
I was
affiliated?
just about to say yes. So it's
Okay.
not necessarily how you got affiliated with pitbulls and parolees because it is Villalobos first.
Well, and Pitbulls and Parolees was already aired when I started volunteering.
Mhm.
So, okay. Well,
so there were cameras and everything around.
yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So let's circle. I mean, not all the time because I did a lot of behind the scenes volunteering before, like I even started dating Kanani and actually then became a part of the show. But we'll circle back. So I first got involved with Villalobos when they had moved to Louisiana. It was like the end of 2009, beginning 2010. And they needed like a group of volunteers to help them move into the warehouse. They had all these dogs and stuff, and they traveled from California. So a friend of my mom's, her name was Carol, she actually was a huge part in the rescue and volunteer stuff until she passed away. But she was good friends with my mom, and she was like, hey, if you know anybody, we need this rescue. I didn't actually, it's crazy because I didn't even know who they were. We just did a lot of volunteer work, and my mom's like, hey, do you want to come with, there's a dog rescue that just moved to New Orleans, and they need help, like, unloading stuff. And I was like, yeah. So we went, and we got to walk some dogs and fell in love with it. So it became like an every Saturday we went to the warehouse and would just do volunteer walks. So we would walk dogs all day long from like 8 to 12.
Right.
And then you, at that time, because Tia and Kanani and Mo and Ryan, all of them, they worked there. They did volunteer walks, so we all got really close because we were there 24/7. And actually, the cameras wouldn't even really film that. It was just us going there to walk dogs.
Right.
Every Saturday.
Yeah.
It kind of became a big family. We'd bring breakfast, and sometimes we'd all go eat lunch afterwards, and we just, like, that's all it was.
Right.
So
you were there at the conception of it.
Just
Inception.
volunteering.
What's the word I'm looking for? Yes. Okay, so just volunteering.
yeah. And
that's
actually,
when they
I was
first moved
dating
here.
someone else at the time.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right.
And then
And then you fell in love.
well,
dogs
actually,
and Kanani.
no. I mean, I fell in love with the dogs, but Kanani and I were friends and had mutual friends and would hang out in like a social setting. And then after about 2 years of me volunteering, it was maybe like a year and a half, 2 years, I had dumped my ex and I became single. And I knew Kanani this whole time, but I guess it just never crossed your mind.
Right.
Never crossed my mind. But he ended up telling, like, the whole time he had a crush on me. He just never said anything because he
Yeah.
didn't want to overstep. And then the
Right.
moment I became single, he's like, I'm infatuated
That, I
with
think,
you.
says
Like,
a
the
lot
moment
about
I
him.
seen you, I wanted to marry you. And at first I was like, whoa. coming on strong. But I
Yeah.
mean, I guess it worked out. He was just like, he was amazing.
But it also, like, I think it's
The fact that he
telling for him
waited,
to
yeah.
wait, because people do not do that.
And you know, it's weird, that whole time I never seen him like with another girl.
Mhm.
But now looking back at it, there was times we would like go to a bar to
Mhm.
listen to music, and I would always like catch him looking at me. But I just thought it was like weird, you know, when you get weird eye contact.
Right.
No,
But
he
this
was
whole
obsessed
time, he
with
was
me.
waiting.
And when I finally agreed to go on a date, everyone was like, "Thank you, oh my God, we're sick of
Aw.
hearing about you." He would
Yeah.
go to the top. It was a 2-story warehouse and just stare at me out of the window like a creep.
So what a
Yeah.
creeper. Okay,
Yeah.
my sweetie.
And 13 years later, here we
Here
are.
we are.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I love that because I didn't know that.
No, it's like a
story.
really cute love story.
It is
actually.
a really cute story. Yeah. So I love that, and I didn't know that. Okay, so then you start volunteering. What did you do before? You started
Lots
working
of things. Right before I worked at Morris Bart Law Firm
Morris Bart
in
If you know, you
downtown
know.
New Orleans. If you know, you know.
I can't with that.
Yeah, I
Salem always says Morris Bart looks like Papa.
Yeah, I was like a call screener paralegal.
Okay.
So when you got into an injury or got into an accident, and you'd call, I would be the one like taking all your information
That
for
is
the
crazy.
lawyer.
We love Morris Bart
Yeah.
in our household.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's what you were doing whenever you started.
Yep, and then Kanani and I started dating, and Tia was like, you know, we really need help. You already work here so much. Do you want to come on full time? And I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's what
I
she
was, like,
said to
sick
me
of my
too.
job.
She was like, "You're kind of working here.
Yeah.
You're
Mhm.
coming like every weekend. Do you
And
want to actually work?"
Being like paralegal didn't bring me joy.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
none.
And who would have thought? You know, how many years later you're like running the rescue now?
Yeah.
That's insane. Okay, so you volunteered, then you became full time, and you were also dating Kanani at this point. So now
Yep.
you're full blown with the rescue,
Yep.
and Pitbulls and Parolees is still airing. Is it in its prime at this time? I don't. I
yeah,
did
I
watch
think
the
so.
show
I
here
think so,
and
yeah.
there, but I don't
It is,
recall
yeah.
like a timeline.
It was like very big, yeah.
Okay, all right. And how was it to do all of that?
I don't know. I think having a camera in your face all the time, it's weird because I do feel like in the beginning I remember being like just feeling a little weird or wanting to watch what I say, and then after it did not take very long that you just kind of forget they're there because. So it's different too with Pitbulls and Parolees. It wasn't like we were on a scripted show. It was
Right.
completely reality.
Right.
Like
And you're
what you were
working.
seeing is what we were doing. So it wasn't. You didn't think about the cameras that much because 9 times out of 10 you were busy in what you were doing and you
Right.
were so engulfed in it that you didn't pay attention that there was a camera following you. I think the only weird aspect of the cameras following you with what we did is, say when we would film like an adoption. So when the camera would film us like getting out and walking up to the door and knocking on it. Well, then they'd like open it, but then you'd have to pause.
Yeah.
Because then the cameraman would need to go inside
Inside,
the house
yeah.
and then get set up, and then you do it again.
Right.
So little things like that, but it was never
You probably
like
just
make
get
sure.
used to it.
Yeah, so you just know you'd be like, oh, okay, well we have to hold on 1 second,
Right.
or you'd start talking to the adopter and they'd say, no, wait, the camera's not rolling, don't say
Right,
that. So you'd
yeah.
have to say it again.
I get that now.
But it was very
yeah.
real.
Yeah.
Just those little things.
Yeah,
But you get
where
so
you
used
realize,
to it.
okay, this isn't actually happening like super organically, but these are all the things that were going to happen anyways.
Yes, so it is it's all of
line
it was
up.
100% real. Just sometimes we would have to do it in sections, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, I remember when I was working at 𝐂𝐤𝐢𝐬𝐿, production came, and I was like actually doing kennels and stuff, and they're like, hey, can we mic you up?
Yeah.
It was the first time, and I was like, oh yeah, like that's fine. And then literally as soon as the mic came on, I was like, I don't know what to do with my hands, and I was like, I'm going to get the hose now. And
And they don't need you. It's
Nothing
gotta
to do
be.
any
Yeah,
of that. I
no,
didn't get
you
any
didn't need to do any of
prompts
that.
or any of that.
You get,
know?
but
Harry was dying. He was like,
Yeah.
Katie, and then I was just doing things on
because
purpose.
you just need to be natural.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like forget it's there.
Yeah.
There was to a point where we would get so comfortable that and you get so comfortable with your camera crew, like they become family. So when you film personal things, like it doesn't make you feel weird because you genuinely know
You
these
know
people
them.
and you have a relationship with
Right.
these people. And our camera crew were so amazing. And like the producers, like one of the producers like helped me with my wedding. Like it was just, they're so personal.
Like
they love
family.
the kids. Yeah. But we would get so used to them and forget we'd have mics, so like I would go and pee, and then
Like,
one of our audio guys, Wally, would be like, he'd be like, I heard that. When you come out of the bathroom, you're like, oh shit. Or like Kanani was really famous on leaning over and like whispering something dirty to me, and then we look over and Wally would be like, I'd be like, oh my god, I'd be mortified. Yeah. But you just forget it's there once it's so part of your life, you know?
Is there anything that happened on camera that you wish wouldn't have happened?
No, I don't think so. No, nothing comes to mind, no.
Right. I've gotten
there was
used
like
to
so much on camera.
Yeah.
You know?
I've gotten used to because now Perry's doing like production, you know, so like I'm trying to be the one that's interviewing and stuff. So I do get that feeling of like, oh, I hope they don't say anything yet because we need to get from here to there.
For the TV show, they did edit it. So like if we would slip and make a curse word, or if like I was walking a dog and I tripped and fell, sometimes they'd keep it in, but they could easily edit it out. Or if I said like something bad. If I did a rescue of a dog out of a shitty situation, I was like, dude, fuck that person. Right. They could edit that out.
Right. Whereas us, it is a little bit more difficult because we're not like a production team.
But, you know, there was editing on the production side, but we just did what we were doing. I mean, it was just freelance. Yeah. We just did our job.
Well, and I mean, you can't think about it all because you're working. And a lot of times...
there was weird times where we're driving to, like, an adoption which whoever watches the show would totally know what I'm talking about. Or like driving to the vet or something, and the camera's filming me driving, and I'm talking like, okay, I just picked up this dog. He was on the side of the road. I need to get him to the vet. I'm really worried about this and this. I'm literally basically talking to myself because I'm talking to the camera. So like Adam or someone who was our camera crew is just filming, or if we're on the way to adoption, talk about like give us some B-roll talk. So I'd be like, oh, you know, Ayla, the dog going to its home. It's so sunny today. I can't believe it's not raining. Are you so excited to go to your home? Oh my god, I'm so excited. Right. That was kind of weird. Yeah. But you just got used to it.
Yeah, it was just part of the job.
But it was like explaining to the viewers what I was doing in that moment.
Right. Do you think that being on the show changed the way you saw yourself?
I don't know, because I am my biggest critique. And I will judge the way I sound, the way I look. Like right now, I'm judging how big my arms look. Like your biggest
really looked at myself.
Critique.
I've just been listening.
So I really try not to watch a lot, and also too, I don't really need to watch the episodes because I lived it. Yeah. There were like certain episodes that were really important to me, like mine and Kanani's wedding. I watched that and I was in love with it.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
There was a really monumental wolf rescue that we did that a lot of us were involved with, and it was probably the hardest rescue I had ever did at that time. And I watched it just because I had seen like little bits and pieces posted to social media at that time, or like the commercials for the episodes, and like it gives me chills, and I was like, oh my god. So I sat down and watched it, and it was the most emotional thing watching. And then you're like, wow, I'm so strong, like I'm such a strong person. How did we get through that? I mean, you're so proud of like yourself in that moment, other people, but other than that, I didn't really, because I knew I would critique myself, even though it didn't matter. But I just was like, I just kind of avoided watching episodes.
Right. I would imagine, too, like, as you're watching it back, you don't realize, like you said, just how strong you are. But in the moment, you've got that adrenaline, you know? You just do it because it has to be done.
It has to be done. This dog's out here. You got to rescue it. You got to figure it out. So you don't think about in the moment what I'm doing and how difficult it was. You just get it done. So you don't think about any of that. So when people come back and they're like, remember that rescue you did with so-and-so? That was so amazing. And you're like, yeah. I mean, you just don't think about, you're in the moment. You figure it out.
And you can't leave without them. Like you
said
last
we're
night,
not leaving a dog behind. That's our saying. Like we have to get it done. And it's
last
night I was rescuing a dog at 9 p.m.
Yeah. And then I was like, well, did you get it? And you were like, well, who am I?
I'm M2. I got the dog.
I'm M2. I got the dog. But
I was joking.
No,
I'm like, duh, I'm M2.
But it's so true, though, because, like, what were we going to do? Not get it? You know
it was
what I mean?
9 p.m. and it was a puppy in a cane field.
Right.
Like, I can't.
We're not leaving
I took
without
Leilana, loaded up the kids, let's go. Like, we can't leave this dog. Animal control's not going to go out till the morning. I won't be able to sleep.
Right.
Like, we have to go.
Like, speaking of the kids, do you think that, you know, animal rescue is something that they're going to do? Kind of going off, but.
I think maybe not something that they will do as their profession. I would love for them to just do whatever they like. I want them to follow their own path. But I do think that it has made them so aware of animals and how animals should be treated, and just they're more awake on how people are. There was a time where I had dropped Luke off with my ex, his dad, for the weekend, and 5 minutes later get a phone call because we meet at like this road. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but it's like a halfway point. And Luke's like, Mom, some truck just pulled. We just seen him stop in front of us and toss a beagle out on 3127 in the middle of nowhere. It's like all land and swamps. Can you please? You gotta go. You gotta go get this dog. And I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going. I turned around and I caught the fucking beagle. Like I actually, it was an episode. His name was Country Ham. I had to lasso him because he was so scared. And I remember even on the episode, I was like, how in the fuck did I just get that dog? Like I was running next to him and lassoed him with the slip lead. But I remember it was such an amazing feeling. I called Luke and I was like, baby, I got the dog. And he was like, oh
so
my
happy.
God. But most kids wouldn't have, they would have just been like whatever, or not even been able to process. And Leilana too. She'll,
we can't leave it, Mom.
We'll see a dog in the back of a truck, like that we're following, and Leilana's like, "That's not good." I'm like, "No, it could fall out and get hurt." So I think it opens them up to be very mindful of what they see and what's right and what's not right.
I think that's so important. The same thing with Salem.
But if they don't want to go in an animal field, I won't be upset. This is the thing. I love what I do, but it is very emotionally tolling on someone. And so if they want to pick a lighter thing to do and follow their own path, I will love them for whatever. If they want to follow this, then I will give them all the wisdom that I have.
Absolutely. And they definitely have the footsteps to walk in.
Absolutely,
with,
yes.
You know, their grandma and their dad. And
everyone, yep.
Do you think that being on the show impacted the way your family is? Did you have them... Were you married? Well, you already had Luke.
So Luke was like 9 months old when Kanani and I got together.
Okay, 9 months old.
So he helped raise him.
Yes.
I was not married before Kanani. He was my first marriage.
Okay, all right. And then, do you feel like the show affected the way that you raise your kids, or them being on TV, or anything like that?
I think it's a little different. I mean, we were on Animal Planet. So I think
it's not like it was it
wasn't like reality. We're not Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie or something.
You're not the Kardashians.
Yeah, it's not like people are so out to get us. I think the following and the support group that we have always been so nice to my kids. So I've always just they've been on the show, so I never felt the need to and I don't blame them for this. I think if it was like a more high profile show or something, I would probably shelter my kids on social media so that they're not just known for that.
Or if it was just about like your family and its lifestyle.
Yeah, and you want to keep it more private. But this is our family. They're already seeing our family. So there was not much sheltering to do because the kids are very present. Like we did an episode on when I was pregnant with Leilana. So like it was just very much already out there. So I think we just kind of had already lived in it.
It was just, you were just living your life and it just happened to be happening while you were filming. You were talking about, the rescue being emotional, and I mean, just even last week, we lost so many VRC dogs, and that's never ending, and you've been doing it for however many years. Do you think that's the hardest emotional part about, like, what was the hardest and emotional part about being on the show, or just of rescue in general?
I do the emotional toll of rescue and being in medical, I think, takes you, or just seeing the dogs in these horrible conditions and and then I think the hardest part about that is when we get a dog out of a horrible conditions and that one doesn't make it. That's hard because we didn't get to him soon enough. What if we would have got to him soon enough? What if this or that? And we can do that all day long, but it just wasn't that. It wasn't meant to be, I guess. I don't know. I struggle with that.
And then there's the next dog that you just gotta
move
on.
And you got to move on. But I think too another thing that is difficult is I love what I do, but there's never an end. It never stops. It's never gonna be over. There's always gonna be animal cruelty. Unfortunately, there's always gonna be assholes that don't know what to do. There's always gonna be a lack of knowledge, but like it's not a 9 to 5. Rescue is 24/7, so I've struggled with trying to shut it off and then still be there with my kids and not always like, hey, come on, jump in the car, mommy's got to go rescue this dog, or this or that. So that's hard. It consumes your whole life.
You would think that would be like the hardest part.
That and the emotional side, yeah.
You said that the wolf dog story was one of the hardest ones. Is there a story from the show that still lives with you today that really stands out, or is it the wolf dog one?
I don't know. There's a couple. The wolf dog one was just a very difficult. I mean, we were there from in the morning till it was like, I don't know, 10 o'clock in the morning. We didn't get done till like 3 a.m. And it was constant physical, like it was rough. And then we had animal control waiting to like shoot them. So it was like pressure was on. But I think probably two of the most difficult rescues emotionally was this hound dog, Buckaroo. I found it with Earl. It's actually here in Assumption Parish. And he didn't make it. I got to the vet and he died. And I don't know what it was about that dog and why I wanted him to live. And I only knew him for like a matter of an hour.
Right.
I don't know why he was so impactful on me, but it just, I wanted him to live so bad, and he didn't. And then Bisou, which is the dog we have, I did her rescue by myself. I'm getting emotional.
Yeah.
And I thought she was dead. Like, I went there to do
I've
an
seen
anonymous
some of
call.
her pictures on the intake. Yeah.
It was an anonymous call about puppies in a crate in a backyard in the rain. And as I call the cops and to come get the puppies, I'm talking to the cop, and I look over, and there's literally a dog, a bag of bones stuck in the dirt, like not moving. And I thought she was dead until she took a breath, and I was like, oh my God. And then I like got her to the vet. Her temperature wouldn't even register, and we almost euthanized her. And she breathed again, and I was like, this is a sign she wants us to fight for her.
Right.
And she bounced back faster than any dog I've ever seen.
And she's still with us.
Like,
Which
the
I wish
fact
she
that
was in
that
a
dog
home.
is so resilient, and she was like moments from death. If I wouldn't have got that anonymous tip from a neighbor who's seen these puppies, no one would have ever known about Bisou. She would have been just a fragment of someone's imagination.
Yeah.
Like, she would have died there in on a chain that was like this long, smashed in the dirt. Like, her face, everything was in the dirt. She couldn't even breathe.
Yeah.
Like, that was just, and then the mother that was in the house, she had all these kids, and the kids were just in the backyard playing football and throwing the ball and laughing.
And they're
like,
just doing their own thing.
And they're laughing when I asked them. Like, they just didn't even care.
Right.
It was just like,
how does your life even go on when there's...
I remember crying. I was crying when I seen her, and I'm trying to pick up, and they're standing over me, and they're laughing. And I'm like, how old are you? The fact that this is funny, this is an animal. This is a true being, and this is like,
terrible.
it just, what are you gonna grow up to be?
Yeah, that's what's scary.
It was so, in that moment, I was like, I have no hope for humanity.
It's so sad.
It was very traumatizing.
Yeah.
I remember having to call my brother to help me get her out of the mud.
Yeah, that is so sad. And I hate that. I mean, I'm glad she survived it, but she is still with us and still needs a home.
And she's the happiest
Yeah,
dog. She's like a pogo stick. She's just so happy
I
and
see her
go-lucky.
playing in the pool and
I
stuff.
know, it's
She's
so sad.
so sweet. Let's see here. Okay, so it's not just, pit bulls, but it's also parolees.
Oh.
Yeah. Not just pit bulls. We do have all other dogs, but we also at that time had parolees working with us.
We did.
How was that? And did you find that to be difficult, or?
No, they're just like normal human beings. They just need a second chance. And actually, some of them still work for us. Earl is a fan favorite. He still works for us. He works out here in Assumption.
We get a lot of that questions about Earl.
Tony, TC, still works for us. I think that might be the last two parolees. They were with us the longest, and they're still here. But no, I mean, they actually became family. Like, Earl's Uncle Earl to the kids.
Yeah.
It's just, everyone always asks, like, how's it be with they are literally just human beings.
Right. Yeah.
You don't even you don't call them parolees. You don't think of them. They're just another worker. It's another employee.
Right. Yeah, I love Earl, and Earl does have a relationship with the kids.
Oh, he's Uncle Earl.
Yeah.
He helped raise Luke, and now Leilana's obsessed with him.
Yeah.
It's just he is true family.
Yeah,
for sure.
He really is true family. I remember when I first started dating Perry too. My parents had watched the show, and
everyone asked about Earl,
and my mom was asked about Earl, but then she was like, "Oh, was Perry a parolee?"
Because the tattoos.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I was like,
he got those in prison.
Yeah, those are his prison tattoos, Mom.
That's funny.
So it's just kind of funny. But Yeah, I mean, like you said, it is.
There's just a taboo. Well, I think that's why she named it that, because those are two taboo things: pit bulls and parolees.
Right.
No one wants either one around.
Right.
But they both needed a second chance. That's how all of this started.
And you judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, and
or
some
title.
of the most genuine animal lovers have been the parolees. So I think it's just...
And the dogs change their lives, and it gives them a
yeah,
purpose.
they change each other's life. And giving them a purpose to take care and nurse this dog back to life. Like, you would be surprised. And parolees, because of how they're judged and needing that second chance, they give so much grace to these dogs because they know how it is to be judged.
Yeah, you're so right on that. Yeah, and it's, I mean, you don't have to be a parolee to feel that way.
No, but I'm just saying, on elaborating on your question.
Yes, I mean, I feel like just working with dogs in general, but
it humbles you too.
It does.
It really humbles you.
It really does. Let's see. Well, that really kind of talks all about pit bulls and parolees. Is there anything else in regards to the show that you would want to share?
No, I mean, we still film, and we just have our own platform on Patreon now. Life
Were
with
you
the
upset
Underdogs.
whenever it ended?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, thank God I don't have to, like, because filming was also, even though they filmed your job, you had to do a lot of extras. So, like, we would have to do OTFs, which was like interviews for the episodes. So on top of your normal job, you had all these other duties. So I was like, oh, thank God I don't have to do that anymore. But you miss your crew, like the camera crew. Like the production company really did become like a second family. So you miss them, and you just miss like the old days and how things were.
Perry talks a lot about it too.
It was just
it was just a different time.
Yeah, it was just a different time, and I felt like it was simpler.
Yeah,
things are so chaotic now. But
and that's not like a normal situation for people. Not everybody.
No, but it was normal for. I mean, it was normal for us. But I mean, it just, I don't know. Things are different. The show, how we do things are a little bit different.
The location is different. Family has changed over time.
Yeah. But I think change is okay. I think we're stuck in this groove now. So, but obviously, I would love to continue doing it. I think it. Also, one of the downfalls is we were actually on TV and not just online. So donations were a lot higher, and our adoptions were a lot higher because people were constantly. Now it's just reruns. You know, even though we have our online platform, but it's not. People don't see that as much as like on TV.
No, and they think
so that's
if they're
a downfall.
Watching pit bulls and parolees,
that's current, but it's not.
Yeah, or they think, oh well, I'm doing something by watching,
but we don't get royalties from reruns, so it
doesn't help. But let's see here. So we've kind of talked about, the heartbreak of, rescuing dogs and the rescue.
Yeah.
I mean, I obviously kind of know this answer, but, there's the downfall, but what is the most rewarding?
Probably seeing the dogs and how resilient they can go from, being in such horrible shape to like blossoming into these amazing, huge trusting personalities. Like you really realize how resilient animals are.
Yeah.
And just being able to be a part of that process, and then adopting them out, and then seeing them go to a home.
That was
when you knew, from one moment, like the day Bisou gets a home is gonna be.
I feel like
I feel like I held your body right, like when you were supposed to die.
Yeah.
And now you
gotta find a home.
Yeah, like she needs to find a home.
Yeah.
But those things, it's just.
And even with Bisou getting a virtual adopter, like it feels like a win. You know what I mean? And that's.
I really didn't think that she was gonna make it. So just seeing that evolvement is pretty amazing.
I think so too.
And knowing that how many souls we've really helped and rescued and saved, people and dog wise.
Yeah, it's definitely so rewarding. I feel like when I got to do Aladdin's adoption, I hadn't done an adoption yet, and I've been with Perry for about 2 years and helping him in and out with the kennels and stuff. But then it was right before Christmas, and they were like, "We really want to try to get Aladdin
I
home."
think I remember that.
Yeah,
and they asked if you would take him.
Yeah, and we had to go to Texas, and I was like, "We have to do." Like, I loved Aladdin so much; he was part of my section and everything. And he was just so.
It's so bittersweet, right?
It's so hard, and it's like that's what you're doing. Like, they're getting a home.
Oh, there's been dogs that are like my heart dogs, like dogs that I would take home if I didn't already have a house full of dogs, and you like. You are so sad because you want to see that dog every day. Like, I loved going in and seeing that dog. That dog looked for me. I looked for them. And I've had adopters say, well, if you guys are so connected, you should take it. And I was like,
Yeah.
no, because he deserves, or
Yeah.
she deserves to be the center of attention in
Right.
your home. Like,
Right.
I can't selfishly hold that dog back because I
Right.
love them.
And that's probably one of the hardest things too.
So
is
letting them go,
knowing-
but then secretly being happy. It's like a very bittersweet.
Yeah, it definitely is. But that for me solidified, and it was like Christmas time, and it was like I had done, the kennels and stuff at the rescue, but that's really it at that point.
It's like following it all the
and
way through.
I saw the whole circle, and that for me was like.
So
this
imagine
is where,
rescuing a dog.
Yes, and then
seeing the whole like health circle and then into
Mhm.
adoption. It's like you see that entire life cycle that they go through.
Yeah, and I hope to, being at the rescue now, obviously I'm more involved as I am to one day see that whole
absolutely.
cycle from start to finish. Oh, it makes me want to cry just thinking about it.
No, I get emotional
so
all the time.
beautiful.
I actually get the chills a lot.
Yeah.
I used to always say, which if people watch episodes back, they'll notice I always used to say, like, when I would leave an adopter's house, like, I love you so much, but I don't want to ever see you again.
Yeah.
And that would be like my saying, and then
Yeah.
I would usually go to the car and I would cry a little bit as I'm driving off because it was like so hard to leave them, but it felt so good to leave them. It makes me cry.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Because your whole life is invested in this whole process.
Yeah.
So if this adoption doesn't work out, you feel like you failed, which is why our adoption process is so extensive because our return rate is like 0.006. It's so low, but it's because we get to know, and that's why we get so attached. We get to know these dogs. We bring them into our homes. We test them with our children. We test them with our dogs. We take them for car rides. We take them for outings. So you get so attached to these dogs because you get to know them. So you relay all this information so that you can find that right home that's not going to set them up for failure or have a negative impact.
Yeah. I feel like, too, for me, sometimes I feel guilty that I'm not able to be at that level with the dogs. Like I used to get help in the kennels and then everything moved out
what you do on social media is getting those dogs home.
And that's
So you are a part of that
Yes.
process. We just all have, like, our different jobs to do, and it comes together to that end result.
And I realized that,
you're giving them all the publicity because
like
we
they
don't have a
wouldn't
show
be
anymore.
online, or they wouldn't be shown. They wouldn't have the virtual adopters. So it's like I have had to accept the fact that
it's money to keep doing what we're doing.
Yes.
You're helping get donations. You're helping get these dogs seen.
And it is a team. Everybody
has we all have our part.
Yeah. It's just I would rather be with the dogs.
No, trust me. I say the same thing. I joke all the time because, like, even though what I do is still working with the dogs, it's a lot more. I was like, man, I would love to just go back to cleaning kennels because it was just so easy.
Yeah,
and it was
is
like
satisfying. Like
it's
a
so just like being with the dogs, and you're not having an end goal with the dogs. You're just being with the dogs. I miss that.
I actually do too. Like
some
I did
days
enjoy
you'll
that.
see, like, I'll post a lot of dog pictures or videos because if I'm having a hard day,
you just go to
I'll
the
just go to the kennels and I'll just work with the employees, or I'll just like take like 5 dogs in the yard and just play with them, and that's how I get out of my funk.
Right, and that's what makes you a good leader, honestly, is that you're not just telling people what to do, you do it yourself. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's where I started, too.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just kind of like getting back to your roots. Now that the rescue is out here and not in New Orleans, I don't have that much of an opportunity.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy whenever I do come out here and I get to spend time with the dogs. And sometimes I've really pushed to get dogs adopted on Good Morning Villalobos, and I've talked a lot about them, but I've never seen them. So then when I come out here and
it's
I
like
see
putting
them,
it together.
I get so excited. Like Blue Eyes, Jem.
Yeah.
Like I'd seen Jem on the website for so long, and I was like, when I got to see her, I was so excited.
And I rescued her too. So like,
it's a whole thing. Yeah. Let's see. I feel like we're getting to a good place.
Yeah. And I think this is the thing too. We definitely wanted to do like an episode focused on some of these questions that I know everyone has been wanting to know or asked for years regarding the show and the rescue. But we're probably going to touch on all of this throughout so many different episodes because this is literally our life. Like I do the medical and adoptions and everything, and she does all the social media and a lot of our different programs. So this is what we do. So we're going to constantly refer back to or give examples or touch base on her. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is
because I don't want people to think
this is our life.
I think most of the people who are watching will be fans of the show, or they'll be fans of the rescue, and so we want to make sure that we're tying all of that back in, and we're not just talking about silly things or therapy, wellness, health. we're going to talk about all the things, but we're also going to talk about
Yeah.
dogs because it's
I'm
our
sure
life.
every day we'll like add in a dog segment or something.
Yeah, and
for
we'll
sure.
have our Instagram page, and I think we can feature our dogs there, and we can feature the programs.
Again, we're not going to put it in a box.
Right.
But I would love to, like, even if, I know we answered a lot, but if anyone, to touch back, which I think we could do this for any episode too, if anyone has any other questions that maybe we just didn't think of, that they always asked or they always wondered, and maybe, you know what I mean, if it's something that we feel like we can answer and talk about, we can circle back to that.
And there are things we're not going to answer as well, you know, but feel free to ask, and if we don't answer them, we don't. A lot of things are personal or private.
Well, we do like to respect different family members' privacy, so obviously if you ask an inappropriate question that's not going to be answered, we're not going to put you on blast. It's just not going to be answered.
Right.
But if it's just a genuine question about the rescue, about the show,
Certain
about
dogs.
genuine questions about, like, I will answer a few personal questions because it's my choice and my opinion, but I'm not going to answer personal questions for other family
people,
members.
right.
That's up to them to do that.
Right, but I think, it doesn't hurt to put it out there, and if you guys want to put it in the show notes, at the comments, or if you want to message us on Instagram or any of the social media platforms. And just seeing
a different side.
Yeah.
People love when we do lives. Like, I feel like they're like, oh, we love this side. Like, I used to do, like, Wine Wednesdays with Lizzie, and they're like, we love this side of you guys.
Yeah,
this is a different side. So I think this is also kind of touching on that.
I think so too.
But yeah, okay, well, guys, thank you so much for being here, and just remember, stay feral, not fragile.